Hay una moda, una corriente cultural que quiere vendernos la modernidad como la expulsión de la religión del ámbito político, entiéndase de lo público. Una persona que se considere un iluminado intelectual, una persona que se considere, por ejemplo, un sabio de este siglo, podría decir, abro comillas, eso de las religiones, eso de las creencias, eso es un estorbo para el desarrollo. Y esas personas, estamos parafraseando un sabio, un intelectual, pudiera agregar, allá ellos en su vida privada, allá ellos en su vida íntima, en su creencia. Le pregunto, ¿las creencias y las religiones trascienden lo privado?
Well, I feel like my answer is two-sided here. You know, as a theologian myself, I try not to, I work within my theological context. I work within my Christian upbringing and my background and my beliefs. I also, though, appreciate all the other traditions and fascinated and see how they contribute, you know, all the other religious traditions in the world and how they contribute to my work and my understanding of the world and how I move through the world. I think right now, especially, I see what you're saying, kind of that intellectual notion of perhaps, if you will, separation of religion and state. The reality is, though, is that politics and religion have always been enmeshed. And, you know, and we have so many people saying it shouldn't be, you know, or, but the reality is what I see personally is that we don't understand that. Just last week, if anybody was paying attention, during the inauguration at the Episcopal at Washington Cathedral, Bishop Boudet asked Donald Trump to show mercy. All she did, which is theological. It literally stems out of the New Testament, literally is the message that Jesus gave us as Christians, is to show mercy and compassion and kindness. And the United States blew up in regard to like the response to that. And I was fascinated by how many people said, politics don't belong in the church. Politics don't belong in religion. Where my thought is, and as we've learned in theological schools, you know, Jesus was all about politics, right? I mean, and so everything Jesus did was a political move. And yet he also did it carefully, which is the duty of us as theologians and religious leaders and scholars around the world, is to approach this work, if you will, religion and politics in the public sphere, in a way that offers, one, understanding, two, the ability to separate if you want or not, but there has to be a separation, but also an understanding of how they coexist together. It is not, however, a place for dogma, for fundamental extremist truth claims, you know, fundamentalists. It is not a space to cause harm. It is not a space to insist on, you know, laws that are literally harming people. And so there's a lot happening in the world, not just here in the United States, but all over, with religion and politics and that intellectual interruption, if you will, And at the same time, that intellectual interruption and is important to be able to learn how to separate, but also understand how religion plays into politics and politics plays into religion. And I just want to add one more thing, though, is that it's not just about religion and it's not just about politics, it's also cultural. And until we understand that cultural context and how that plays into all of this, it's, we're just going to keep going around in circles. And, I could go on and on. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but that's kind of how I see it. And it really, for me, boils down to is responsible theology, really understanding the context of Scripture and when it was revealed. We can't look at Scripture right now, literally. They are lessons, yes, but they were written and revealed in a time of completely different context of, an agrarian society and all of these things. And so, this is my theological background coming out, right? But unfortunately, not everybody has that training and not everybody has that understanding. And so it's a little perilous right now. And I think that it's important that more people, speak up, as Bishop Boudet did last week, and so many others followed after her. So.